You are now hearing from Sister Margie, who, as you know, is Director of Campus Ministry, and who was blessed to be able to be part of our spring mission trip to Guatemala with a group of dedicated, loving, generous, and compassionate group of students and staff. First, I want to say how sorry I am that I can't be with you in person, but I had an opportunity I couldn't pass up to be part of welcoming Pope Francis to the United States. So be assured that I will take lots of pictures and will say hello from all of you. And please be assured that if I have a chance to speak a word to Pope Francis, it will be to tell him how a high Dominican university is carrying out our mission to spread the good news, preaching the truth to all that we meet. Now to my own reflection. As a newbie on our campus ministry team, I had a real desire to be able to offer the students an experience that would enrich their lives, expand their horizons, and open their eyes to the beauty of our world, as well as to those that are struggling. Why Guatemala? Well, Dr. Julie Hart has shared her experiences with us and her connections with the seminary in Guatemala City that offers mission experiences to students from colleges, universities, high schools, and other church-related institutions. It is where Dr. Hart takes a group of students every other year for an intercultural awareness program. And based on her recommendation and seeing many of her pictures, we made the decision that is where we should go. And you will be seeing a lot of different pictures as each one of us shares our reflection. And one of them, hopefully, will be a picture of where we stayed, our base camp. It was a beautiful respite place with a home-like atmosphere and staff that were not only helpful and provided all of our needs, but were very warm and made each of us feel at home. And when we would come home from a day that was filled with emotional highs and downs, these friendly faces and smiles renewed us and uplifted our spirits. We had the opportunity to experience many different ministries, from 2 different orphanages, the Down Syndrome Foundation, which is a day school program for children with Down syndrome, a children's hospital for children with cancer, a soup kitchen for the homeless and low-income families, and a home for the elderly who had been homeless with no family. With all these ministries, it was a love and care that was given to each person by the staff and the many volunteers that are with them each day that really struck at my heart. At the home for the elderly, there was a group of nursing students that were there giving the women a manicure, doing their hair with such love and tenderness. At the same time, many of the staff, instead of being busy about many things, was just sitting with the group, being with them and sharing stories together. At the soup kitchen, I watched our students reach out to those men who had to sit outside to get their meal due to alcohol, with providing not only the meal, but a smile and words of encouragement and treating them with utmost respect. At the orphanage where we spent 2 days, one day painting 2 playgrounds, and the other day being with the children in a huge gymnasium, playing non-stop running games, blowing bubbles, jumping rope, passing out candy, ring around the rosy, and then some of us were just sitting on the steps with the children in our laps. But the whole time there were smiles, laughter, and love being passed around from the student to the child and the child to the student. An amazing sight. One that none will ever forget, and I would say one that the children will not forget. Then the experience at the day program for children with Down syndrome was beyond words. Being able to work with boys and girls in the bakery and teaching us how to bake bread and cookies with such skill, and with their smiles and patience, you could tell how proud they were of their work. The children would walk down the halls with us holding some of our hands and showing us their classrooms. I had a chance to sit in one of the classrooms where they were drawing pictures, and of course one of the little girls wanted me to sit right beside her, which of course I did. She proceeded to draw a little house for me and then signed her name and gave it to me, and I still have it, a true blessing for me. So obviously I could go on and on about all the experiences that I had and how we all were touched in many ways. But the one thing I learned was that all of us, no matter what our circumstance in life is that we all need love. And when that love is experienced, it creates more love and a desire to spread that love to others. It is highly contagious. And of course that brings me to our Dominican mission, to preach the truth, to contemplate the truth, and to share that truth with others. And for me, that truth is the love of God, love of oneself, and then to share that love with others. And I feel that is what we all experience in Guatemala. In the evening upon returning from our day, we would get together and reflect on all of our experiences. And I think that was one of the highlights for me. Listening to the experiences that the students had, seeing their hearts being changed and expanded, inspired by the wisdom they shared, their deep faith in God, and seeing their tears and sharing in their laughter. When I think of the identity of a high Dominican university, the Dominican pillars always come to my mind: community, prayer, study, and ministry service. And I think that the Guatemala mission trip was for me an experience of community, all the students and staff, the staff at the seminary, and all the places where we ministered, the prayer we experienced with our evening reflection, the many interfaith prayer we experienced together at orphanages, shelters, and study, learning about the history and culture of Guatemala, the history in experiencing the Mayan culture, and service, from serving meals, painting, playing Ring Around the Rosie, baking bread, and painting pictures with children who were treated for cancer, and now being able to share the fruits of our experience with all of you, our Dominican mission.
My name is Morgan Hemming. I graduated from Ohio Dominican with a biology degree, and I am now in Ohio Dominican's Physician Assistant Program. I went on this mission trip because my passion is to help and serve others in any way I can. This changed my outlook on life in such a positive way. The most touching moment that stood out to me is when we went to the National Children's Cancer Hospital. We colored pictures with the children in the waiting room. All of them were so happy and could not stop smiling. It touched my heart to see such joy on their faces while they are all suffering with some type of cancer. That day I will never forget, and I will hold it close to my heart.
Hello everyone, my name is Natalie Hutton. I went on the mission trip to Guatemala for many reasons, but the main reason was because I wanted to help others while deepening my faith. I learned so much about the Guatemalan culture while learning a lot about myself. Going on this mission trip reassured me of what I want to do with my life. I was changed in a way I couldn't even imagine. My faith was deepened immensely, and I learned so much about the person that I want to grow into. There are so many things in life that I now want to do and accomplish. This fits with the ODU mission because the truth is that we are here to be God's light in the world while carrying out the truth.
Sure. is Olivia Grant, and I am a senior here at Ohio Dominican. I graduate in the fall, and I'm hoping to attend the physician assistant program next year. When I heard about the trip to Guatemala, I was so excited. I had never been abroad, so I didn't really know what to expect, but I knew that I wanted to help. I went into the trip with the assumption that these people would be sad because in our eyes they have essentially nothing. But I was wrong. They have everything. They have all the love and happiness in the world. They taught me so much more than I could have ever taught them. They taught me to appreciate the little things in life. Just seeing those kids smile filled my heart with so much joy. It was such an incredible experience, and I hope to go back real soon.
Hi, my name's Nikki Brown, and I want to talk about my trip to Guatemala through Ohio Dominican. My trip to Guatemala was one of those experiences that you can't really describe to people. You can't show an exact picture, or you can't write down in a journal exactly the way that you felt during that time. It was one of those priceless moments that lasted a week. And it was incredible, and I would do it all over again a million times. Just to talk about a couple of things that we did, we got a lot of experiences there because each day pretty much we would go to a different place or organization to help out. A couple of my favorites were going to a children's orphanage, and it was also a single mother's home, and we were able to paint a playground and a couple of walls that needed touched up, and then we brought toys and we just played with the children. And I have to tell you, one of my favorite moments was watching another person who came on the trip with us. His name is Zach. He was the only male that attended it with us. And my favorite moment was watching him with a group of 4 little boys swinging around, like holding onto his arms, holding onto his legs, and he's just like shuffling around carrying all these little kids on him, and they just adored him. And not to make assumptions, but it seemed to me that there wasn't a lot of male figures in those boys' lives, and it was just like amazing to watch. It was so beautiful to me, and I just loved talking with the children there, with the people there, the single mothers. I loved trying, even though we didn't speak each other's language, like I didn't speak Spanish, and the majority of the people that we met there did not speak English. There was a kind of human nature communication that we could converse with one another. Like, it's kind of hard to describe because we just understood. Like, I understood that they were happy that we were there, and they understood that we came because we want help, and that we loved their children, and we loved the place that was trying to help all these women get back on their feet. And it was just a mutual caring about one another. Another one of my favorite memories is when we went to a children's cancer hospital, and there's not a lot of children's cancer hospitals in Guatemala, so this one actually may be the only one, but I'm not quite sure. It treated over 80% of the children in Guatemala with cancer, so some children would have to go with their parents, drive 8, 9, 10 hours through the night to come and get their treatment done at this place. And the people were great there, but then they would have to come and they would wait in this waiting room all day. So what we did there, how we helped out, was we just sat in the waiting room with the children, and we got out coloring books and stickers, and all kinds of fun little things that we could sit around and do together. We ended up making paper airplanes too, and we're throwing them back and forth to one another and playing games like tic-tac-toe and all this stuff. And I ended up making a little buddy, and he was awesome. We played this dots game where you connect the lines and you have to try and make a square, and then if you get a full square you put your initials in, and you see how many boxes you can get with your initials compared to the other person. And neither one of us knew an ounce of the other's language, but we just bonded, and I loved it so much. Going along with bonding with the people of Guatemala, I got the chance to meet so many beautiful people that went on the trip with me, and even if we're not in constant communication with one another all the time, it's truly a joy whenever I see any of them or all of them, and I always think about them. They're just great because we kind of went through an experience that's kind of hard to describe to everyone else, because it was just so amazing. And it's how the people have been on trips like that, they get the connection you get with the people you travel with and do service with. It's just amazing. But if I could go back to Guatemala, I most definitely would. I hope to go sometime soon, and I want to continue doing service, because another thing that Guatemala taught me is that you can do service no matter where you are. It can be the littlest thing, and it can be an act of service. Like, say an older woman is having trouble walking down a flight of steps and there's no railing, to offer her your hand, that's an act of service. Or to go to our local food pantry and serve and cook food there for the people, that's a service of your time also. And I've realized how important it is to keep that in your life, because it gives you such a great feeling that doesn't really compare to anything else. So I want to continue with doing things like this, and hopefully traveling other places as well, to just get more life experience and everything. But to say the least, Guatemala was so amazing, and I am so thankful I got that opportunity.